everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for today's wedding series video, I'm going to be talking about how I got engaged and the story leading up to the day that Craig proposed to me. So I got engaged on May 26th this past year, so 2018, but I actually kind of knew I was going to be getting engaged for about 9 months before it actually happened. So I found out, I think it was like either the end of September or start of October, but I'm going to start from then and tell you guys what happened. So we were on the way up to Wisconsin to go to Craig's little brother's football game. And we were starting to plan a vacation for the next summer because we were going to be going to Greece. This is the same summer that I just had graduated college. So going to Greece was kind of like my graduation present from my parents. So anyway, we're in the car going up to this football game. And Craig is just like obsessing over plans for Greece. And he is not the kind of guy that plans stuff out ahead of time. I mean, really, like I'll ask him like, what are we doing tonight? And he won't know and it's like 3 p.m. So anyway, he's like all focused. He keeps going on about how there just has to be one night when it's just the two of us. He wants to take me to the Temple of Love. It has to be at sunset. My parents can't be there. And he just like won't stop going on about this. And at this point, like, you know, it's like the early fall and we're going to Greece in May. So this is a long time away. So I'm thinking like, why is he obsessing about this one specific night? And it was just like so obvious. So from that moment, I was just kind of expecting that I may be getting proposed to in Greece. Sorry if you guys can see some like weird arms over here. That is Baloo on my bed. I also just want to put it out there that we had always like been very open about talking about getting married and like wanting to start a family and all of that. So like when this conversation came up in the car about like wanting like to have that night alone with me in Greece, it wasn't really like out of the blue. Like I knew that we were going to be getting engaged at some point in like the near future or like the next year or two. So it wasn't, you know, like, I kind of, like, was waiting for it to happen anyway. I should also probably point out that we had also, like, always been very open about talking about getting engaged and, like, marriage and, like, wanting to start a family someday. So this conversation, like, wasn't really, like, out of the blue. I knew that at some point we were going to be getting engaged probably like in the near future. Like I was expecting it within the next year or two. So when he started talking about like this one night in Greece, it just made it so obvious to me because like there really isn't a better time to propose than when you're in Greece, like on the Greek islands. It really can't get better than that. So after that conversation that day, I was just like so focused on like different hints and clues that it was gonna keep happening. Like I took every single thing he said as like a hint that it would happen or that it wouldn't. Craig, I always noticed, would be like trying on my rings. So like, I mean, not my engagement ring, of course, but like rings that I would wear before we got engaged. He would put it on, like see how big it was and stuff like that. We had also gone and looked at rings together twice, once during our anniversary and another just casually when we were in Cancun together the summer before. And I feel like he was like almost as into it as I was. And most guys wouldn't be like that unless they were thinking about proposing. So anyway, months go by, it's now like springtime, and I swear there would be like days when I was sure it was going to be happening, and then days when I would start like freaking out, thinking, oh my gosh, it's not going to because he said this or this happened. But anyway, one thing I always had back of my mind was when we first started dating, I remember that Craig said that when he got engaged, he wanted to use his grandma's ring to propose. So I started realizing, like, okay, he hasn't met with his grandpa to ask for the ring. His grandma had passed away, so he would have gotten it from her. So I was, like, starting to get all, like, nervous about that. Like, they haven't met up yet. We don't have money for an engagement ring right now because right when we got back from Greece, we were moving and we were looking at a house in Naperville that we were actually thinking about buying at the time. And we just got my new puppy, and he's a Great Dane purebred, so he wasn't very cheap either. So I was just like, okay, he doesn't have money for a ring right now. How is this going to happen? He hasn't got his grandma's. So then I was just like totally starting to have doubts, like the entire trip and like leading up to it. I was like, this can't be happening. Like, there's no way he can pull it off now. I think there was actually a day like leading up to when we left for the trip when Craig was all like, you don't think I'm going to propose, do you? And then I felt like super crappy like the rest of the day because I was like, oh my gosh, I totally did. And now he's telling me like not to think that because I felt like he like didn't want me to be disappointed. But then a part of me was like, okay, maybe he's just saying that so I like don't like really think it's going to happen. He's just like trying to like, you know, like not let me get super excited or whatnot. And I'd also like watched all these videos about like signs that your boyfriend's gonna propose on vacation, and I'm actually gonna make one of those videos for my wedding series. Might be the next one out, might not, I'm not totally sure yet. But anyway, one sign that always came up in every single video and article I read was that they wouldn't let you unpack their luggage because the ring was in there. So I was like, okay, that's a good hint. Like normally Craig like never unpacks or packs. I always do all that for him. So if he, you know, suddenly doesn't let me touch his suitcase, I know it's in there. So we get to Greece, and of course he doesn't care that I'm unpacking his stuff and like going through his suitcase. So at that moment I was just like, oh my gosh, like it's not happening. I spent the last year getting my hopes up. Like there's no ring here. There's no chance that like I wouldn't see it. And the funny thing was that the ring actually was in his suitcase the entire time. Craig told me later that it was in like 3 pairs of socks at like the bottom, and like wrapped in like all sorts of stuff, and like in a shoe. So okay, so continuing with the story. So we're in Greece now, and I am just like totally upset, like don't think it's gonna happen, feeling like I got my hopes up for nothing for all this time. And what made that change was, I want to say it was the 3rd morning we were there, but it might have been the 2nd day that he proposed. But anyway, we woke up in the morning and Craig starts going on about how he needs to go get coffee with my dad. And I'm like, oh, that sounds nice. Like, I'll go. Like, I want to see the city. We're in Athens. I don't want to just, you know, sit here and wait for you guys to get back. And he was like being really pushy about the fact that, no, I'm just going with your dad. Like, you can't come with us. And at the time I didn't really know why. I was like, well, why not? Like, why can't I go with you? And I was like really upset about it. He was just like being super annoying. And then right when Craig was all like, oh, you know, forget it, we'll go get coffee later all together or something, it hit me. Oh, he's probably trying to get some alone time with my dad so that he can ask for my hand in marriage. And at that point, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. Like, I totally messed this up for him. So I spent the rest of the day, like, thinking, like, okay, how can I get him to have some alone time with my dad without me or my mom there? So we end up all going out for the day. We did, like, a lot of sightseeing and stuff, and we finally stopped at a cafe to get coffee. And at that point, my mom's all like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. So I was like, oh, I do too. So we go down to the bathroom. She goes first. It's like a single stall. Then I go. And as soon as I walk into the bathroom, she says, okay, I'm heading back up. Like, I'll meet you up there. And I'm just like, no, Mom, like, stay. Because I'm trying to make her, like, stall. And I took, like, forever. I literally was in the bathroom and, like, did my whole makeup, did my hair, just so I would give, like, Craig enough time to have, like, a full conversation with my dad. So a good like 5 to 10 minutes later, however long I took downstairs in the bathroom, we go back up to the cafe, and I swear it was like nothing happened. Like they were just like chilling, talking. So at that point again, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I was wrong. Like I feel like I would have like sensed something when I walked in, or like seen some sort of like face on my dad's face, or like expression on Craig's face. So then I was kind of like, I'm not sure again. So the day goes on and we're starting to like make plans for the night, and we all went to go see the Acropolis, which is just like a big hill where all like the Greek temples are and whatnot. And Craig starts saying that he wants to go alone with me again. So at this point I'm like, okay, like it has to be happening. There's no other reason that he would like want to like separate from my family. He's not normally like that. So he starts like making plans, like, okay, we should get a taxi, let's head over there now. And I am pretty tired. We've been out all day, you know, and then there's like the whole like 8-hour time difference. So I'm kind of like wanting to go home and like freshen up. I wasn't really expecting to be proposed to at that moment. Like I was still kind of thinking it was going to happen on vacation, but I wasn't really exactly sure when. So I make Craig go the entire way back to our apartment so I can like change. I got on like a super pretty purple dress. I'll insert photos from our engagement night. And I guess at that moment when I changed and like wanted to go home and like put on my makeup and whatnot, Craig knew that I knew. So he was like super disappointed about that, I guess. So anyway, we went home, and then after I changed, we got a taxi and we went over to the Acropolis. So we get over to like where all the temples are, and Craig is going on about like wanting to go see the Temple of Love. And this is the same temple that he mentioned back like in the fall when I first started thinking that he was going to propose in Greece. And of course, I've Googled the Temple of Love to like see what it looks like and whatnot. And every time I Googled it, nothing came up. So this whole time I've been thinking like, I don't think this place exists. Like, I don't know where Craig heard about this. So we're there, we're walking around probably for a good 20 minutes. And, you know, finally Craig stops and he starts asking people like, oh, where's this temple? Where's the Temple of Love? And nobody knows. So it's literally like probably an hour gone by now. We're both like super hot. We're tired. We walked all these steps up the Acropolis and this place does not exist. And clearly he's freaking out now because his entire like plan to propose to me has just like totally been ruined in a sense, because he like doesn't know, you know, where he's going to take me. He wants it to clearly be like a special and like romantic place. So we walk back down the Acropolis. So it's like a really big hill again. And we get down to the bottom and I'm now starting to like freak out. Like, okay, is he even going to do it? Like, he's clearly stressed out. I'm stressed out. I'm tired. I'm in heels, which is probably a stupid choice of footwear to wear to the Acropolis, but you know, I'm getting engaged, so I wanted to look nice. So we're at the bottom, and around the bottom is like a huge park. So we're walking through this park and there's just like nobody around, which is like a little strange considering it's like a huge tourist area. But like everybody's up at the top of the hill. They're all looking at all the temples and whatnot. So we're down here. And all of a sudden, we're just, like, surrounded by all these, like, wild dogs. And I swear one of them, like, to this day, we're still talking about it, that this dog had rabies. It's running in circles around us. Like, I swear it's, like, drooling from its mouth. Like, just, like, crazy wild dogs. So we're walking through this park with these dogs. We walk up another hill, probably another, like, 20-minute hike. We have no idea where we're going. Like, this could be leading to nowhere. It could be leading to, like, not so nice of an area. Like, most likely we were just expecting nothing to be up there at all. So we get to the top of the hill that's like next to the Acropolis, and right at the top there's another sculpture, and it was called like the Temple of Muses, and I guess they're like the inspiration of love. So it ended up working out like perfectly that this just like happened to be there. We weren't expecting it whatsoever. But instead of like really like stopping and looking at like the sculptures and like the old temples and whatnot, Craig continues to like kind of like pull me over to like the edge of this cliff, like right where the sun's coming down. So it's like super obvious what's about to happen. My heart's like pounding and whatnot. But on the way over there, he like trips. And I thought that he like actually tripped. Like I thought he was like actually hurt, but that was like his way of like going down on one knee. And then he gave like a little romantic speech about like how he's wanted to like marry me for a long time now and all of that. One funny thing that happened is he reached for my right hand by accident to put the ring on. So I had to like switch it out and be like, oh, sorry, wrong hand. It goes on the left. He would be super embarrassed if he knew I was telling that. So anyway, once the ring was on my left finger, then we just like kind of like stayed up at the top of the mountain for a few minutes, and it was like definitely the best moment of my life. And then we all of a sudden both were like, oh wait, we should probably get a photo, but there's nobody around, right? Like this is like some sort of like deserted area, like not a single person. So we probably waited up there for a good like 20 minutes, and we're just like, okay, we're gonna sit here until like some random person comes by and we're gonna have to get them to take a photo, because you can't really like not have a photo when you get engaged. Like I want to remember that moment. So like I want to remember where it was. We took a bunch of photos of like the sculpture too and like what it said next to it. So finally another couple hiked up the hill, so we immediately like got their attention and asked them to take a photo for us since we had been waiting for so long. So they took a bunch, and we're like super honored to be our engagement photographer. So that's pretty much the entire story about how I got engaged and how Craig proposed. After that happened, we just like kind of like walked around and enjoyed ourselves in Athens. We ended up going out for our dinner that was like super romantic, and the Acropolis was kind of like up in the background and you could see it because it was like a rooftop restaurant.
And of course, I couldn't be making this video without talking about my ring for a little bit. So Craig did want to use his grandma's ring, but that ended up not working out. So he had to buy my ring just a couple days before the trip. So my ring has one diamond in the center. It is a gold band. And on the side, as you can see, there's little olive branches carved into it, which is so beautiful because that represents kind of like where we got engaged. In St. Greece, there's olive trees all over the place. And then there's also two little mini diamonds on the side of the main diamond. And I just love it so much. It was totally perfect for me. He did a great job. And here's some photos of the night that we got engaged in Athens, Greece. And then the last two photos were in Santorini, right after we got engaged. That's where we went next.
Before I end my video, I just wanted to share with you guys something super sweet. So my bridesmaid, Lexi, and one of my closest friends is also engaged right now. And she just sent me a bridesmaid proposal in the mail. So it comes with like a little like champagne or wine glass. And I think this is going to be her wedding color, but I'm not totally sure. And then a hair tie. And then this is like a little makeup mirror. Let's see if I can open it with one hand. It's so cute. I'm so excited. It literally makes being engaged so much more fun when one of your closest friends is engaged as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Please like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.
Feel the motion.